チドリン。Good evening.
今年の親族会議でも、親方様の秘密を隠さねばならん。
Hope everything is going alright with you. Always here so early. We must conceal. Yeah, okay. Sure, Genji. Hey, there's a...
Hi.
Hey, Super Paper and Bea. Oh my god, everyone's here. Aww, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much, Chidorin.
心得ております。
同じ手がもう一度通じるか疑問だな。
奥様も同じご懸念を持たれている。そのため、今年は書斎から一切お出にならない方向で行くことになった。
Hey, Irismoth.
つまり、ずっと書斎にこもられていることにする、というわけですか？
うん。そして書斎に入ることが許されているのは、
Hey, Peshface me.
我ら三人、片翼の翼を許された使用人だけだ。
ということは、僕たち三人で親方様の嘘を突き通さなくちゃならないわけか。
It's always the day for something.
そうだ。親族の方々は、親方様の具合や機嫌などを問い詰めてくるだろう。よどみなく答え、不審に思われることがなきよう注意するように。
はい、心得ました。
姉さんはすぐドジるからな。
Is that why Shannon was always like on edge and was making so many mistakes?
むしろ、当日は風邪か何か理由をつけて欠席した方がいいんじゃない？
Yeah, but then she would be replaced by someone else.
そんなひどい。
Oh, why are you feeling that way? Isn't that a good thing? Like, you got to the bottom of it and now you are, you know, into the club of people who have experienced the whole of Umineko. Hey, yeah. Hopes high, alright. Canon wasn't just saying that to make fun of Shannon. He simply wanted to release her from the stresses they would face that day as they took on the critical task of concealing Kinza's death.
源氏様、シャノンがシフトに入る必要はないのでは？僕たちだけで十分やります。
それはできん。奥様から、我ら三人は必ずシフトに入るようにとの言命だ。
はい。やり遂げる覚悟です。
ドジらないでよ。
ドジりません。
Shannon grew sullen and Canon shrugged. Then Genji told them that they weren't taking this seriously enough.
シャノン、カノン、すでにお仕えする親方様はお亡くなりになっている。しかし、本当の意味でお亡くなりになるまで、我らの奉仕は続く。あの書斎は無人ではない。今なお、親方様がおられ、日々の研究に勤しまれている。それを、深く心得よ。
はい、源氏様。
It's been hard for you to be a person. Aww. Aww. Pet pets. Virtual pet pets. Wait, I should have an emote for that.
お父様がすでに亡くなっている。
There we go. Pet pets. Alright.
そんなバカな。
まあまあ、例えの話や。武田信玄はその死を3年の間秘密にするよう遺言したっちゅう有名な故事があるやろ。
Aww. Aww. Well, I'm happy to have you around, for what it's worth. What? Why would he turn into furniture? What? Ah, because it's hard to be a person and now it's a furniture. He's a furniture. Okay, got it. And I don't know if that's a good alternative though. Where am I? Even Canon's duck is better. I think.
知らんか？
そんな話もあったかしら。日本史はよくわかんないわ。
当時武田は織田や徳川との戦の真っ最中だった。そこで信玄が死んだなんて話になったら戦況に悪影響が出るやろ。そやから自分の死を3年隠すように遺言したんや。秀吉かてそうやで。主君織田信長の死を敵方に知られんように徹底的に情報規制を行い、素早く毛利と和解して中国大返しを行い明智を討ったんやないか。
Right, so they drew inspiration for this hypothesis from Japanese history. Okay.
一方の柴田勝家はそこで失敗したんや。敵の上杉に信長の死を知られ、思わぬ反撃を受けて足止めを食らい、その後の秀吉との後継者争いで大きく遅れを取ることになったんや。
Hideyoshi, who had a strong fascination with the commanders of the Sengoku period, would always show off his knowledge whenever he got a chance. Wincing slightly, Eva made him get back to his point.
早い話が、わしは去年の親族会議からずっと違和感を持っとったんや。
あれは私やルドルフが遺産の話をしてたのを廊下のお父様に聞かれてしまって、それで。
そこや。夏井さんや使用人たちはどこそこにお父さんがいた、不機嫌そうだったと口を揃えたが、わしら親族は誰一人お父さんを見てないんやで。
もしあなたの想像が本当ならどういうこと？兄さんが遺産の独り占めを狙ってるということ？
もちろん死んだことを隠すなんてかなり危険なことや。果たして遺産を独り占めするためだけにそれだけのことをクラウスさんがやってのけるのか、わしも確信は持てん。だが可能性はある。
確かに兄さんは昔から強欲よ。兄弟全員でと受け取ったものを着服するなんてよくあることだったわ。
クラウスさんはわしら兄弟の中では一番裕福なはずや。そんなクラウスさんがお父さんの死を隠すなんて危険を冒してまで遺産の独り占めを目論むとは、わしにはちょいと信じられんのだがな。だがそう疑いたくなるくらい去年の親族会議はおかしかったんやで。
Eva and the others were painfully aware of how reckless it would be to try to see Kinzo knowing that he was in a bad mood. So, ever since hearing about Kinzo getting into a terrible mood during last year's family conference, they had never actively tried to contact him. That was why, until this very day, it hadn't occurred to them to find it suspicious that Kinzo never showed himself.
確かに疑ってみる価値はあるわね。でも本当に兄さんがお父様の死を隠すなんて大それたことをするかしら。傲慢なくせにおかしなところで小心な人よ。そんな一世一代の大博打を本当にするかしら。
いずれにせよ今年の会議ではきっちりお父さんのご尊厳を拝謁した方がええやろな。
非常に良くない噂さ。どうやら兄貴の事業は俺たちの想像を超えて手ひどく失敗してるらしい。相当の損失を抱えてて、表向きを取り繕うだけで精一杯らしい。
つまりクラウスさんからお金を借りるのはとても難しいことというわけね。
ああ、泣けてくる。
クラウスさんにとって経済的に困窮していることはある種の弱みにはならないの？
弱み？そりゃ投資家は超えてるから投資家なんだぜ。実は金欠だなんてことになったら 誰も見向きもしねえ。
信用第一の世界なのね。
Interesting how this conversation is happening with the backdrop of tall buildings and the full moon. Kiria smiled thinly. Rudolph was taken aback by that smile. He had figured that his plan, which involved raising money to get him out of his current mess by borrowing from the affluent Kraus, would all come to nothing now that they knew Kraus himself was in financial trouble.
クラウスさんの信用はクラウスさんのこれからのお仕事に必要だろうけれど。
Interesting that the witch's theme is playing. So I guess that's not the witch's theme necessarily, it's the theme for scheming.
私たちのこれからには必要ないわ。
Seeing everyone outside of Rokkenjima feels odd, yeah, I guess. It's hard to imagine that, you know, they had a life before then. In a different place.
兄貴をゆするってのか。
私だったら嫌よ。血のつながった兄弟を貶めるなんて。
This trickery theme, yeah. Rudolph felt a shiver go up his spine at Kiria's cold smile. At times, Kiria was able to throw away all compassion and think in an extremely ruthless manner. Whenever he felt that, Rudolph thought about how he never wanted to have her as his enemy.
他に金策があるなら、お兄さんを脅迫なんてしたくないものだわ。
あったら悩んだりしねえ。
Mischievous eyes from Kiria over there.
選択の余地のない問題で悩むのは人生の無駄だと思わない？
Rudolph stopped talking, folded his arms, and lowered his gaze. Even now, Rudolph had a kind of fear of Kraus due to his violence when they were young. And now Rudolph would be the one to threaten him. That meant Rudolph would also have to fight against his childhood trauma. So to give her husband a little push, Kiria smiled reassuringly, and perhaps coldly.
つくづく信用で仕事をしたくないものだわ。信用ほど積み上げるのに苦労して失う時が一瞬なんて割の合わない投資はない。
そうだな。世の中100の信用より1枚の診察だ。
クラウスさんが大きな損失を出していると言っても、私たちの急場をしのぐためのお金くらいは十分用意できるはず。もちろんクラウスさんのこれまでの信用を換金してお金を作ってもらうことになるけれど。
こいつはやばい話になるな。
You think?
十分な備えが必要よ。私たちには時間も失敗も許されてない。そうだったわね。私の京都の友人たちにそういうのを洗うのが上手な人たちがいるわ。あまり世話になりたくない連中なんだけど、一度会ってもらってもいい？領収書は切れないけど、きっと投資に見合うだけのものを調べ上げてくれるわ。
ええ、マリアも元気よ。そちらは大きなお世話よ。ありがとう。
Such conflicting statements. Or maybe not the statements themselves, but just the tone with which they're said.
え？さあ、スケジュールを見てみないとわからないけど。
Rosa was talking to Rudolph over the phone. Rosa rarely received calls from her older siblings, so she braced herself for something serious.
実はな、次の親族会議についてちょいと兄貴抜きで意見を調整したいんだ。
エヴァ姉さんとルドルフ兄さんと私の3人で頭痛の増えそうな話ね。
電話じゃ詳しくは話せない。だがお前にとって聞く価値のある話のはずだ。
それはいい話？
もちろん姉貴は乗り気だぜ。
姉さんが？
ローザには賛同してほしいだけだ。金を出せとかそういう話じゃない。俺たち3人が全員結束してることがまず大事なんだ。わかるな？
Rosa let out a sigh. She did so because in the past, when Rudolph and Eva got into a fight with Kraus, they often use a tone like this to drag her into it.
先に教えて。その話は私も得をする話よね。
ああ。俺たち3人で2億ずつせしめる。うまくいけばそれ以上も引っ張れるかもしれない。お前の借金、それでチャラだろ。
それはいつまでにせしめられるの？
もちろん年度内だ。俺も助かる。姉貴も助かる。そしてローザも助かるってわけだ。三方丸く収まる。
姉さんが話に乗るくらいには勝算があるのね。
話を聞く気になったか。ちょいと急だが、次の日曜日の19時に銀座のお前のお気に入りの喫茶店で会おう。俺と姉貴の予定がそこでしか合わねえ。問題ないか？2
億捻出できる話なら聞かないわけにはいかないわ。では次の日曜日の午後7時にレオポルドで。
マリアちゃんによろしくね。連れてきてもいいんだぜ。
あの子の前でお金の話はやめて。
She set the receiver down with a clunk, a little violently. Apparently, either Eva or Rudolph had gotten a hold of one of Kraus's weak points. They were probably thinking of threatening him with that at the next family conference and forcing him to pay money. Even before hearing the details, she knew full well that it could be nothing good. But even so, this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance to pay back her large debts. Rosa took a notebook out of her handbag and went to fill in the day she would be meeting with Rudolph and Eva. Then she frowned and smacked herself hard in the forehead. Because written there was DZL with Maria. I don't know what DZL is, but it's something with Maria, which she will have to postpone or cancel again. Maria was in her room playing around excitedly with Sakutaro and the others. It was because her mother was going to take her to the amusement park. Oh, that had just been built. Disneyland. Disneyland. Okay. Oh, thank you for the hydration. Yeah, on Sunday. Looking at the clock, Rosa saw that it was just past 9 o'clock at night. Maria was breaking the lights out rule. After covering her face and agonizing for a while, Rosa stood up and stomped over to Maria's room. Great start. Well done. Mookie Rat and Gooby. Yeah, she has a good fashion sense. At least something we can thumbs up about her. The room was almost certainly a mess as well. At least tonight, that was convenient. As she stood outside the door to Maria's room, listening to the happy laughter seeping through, Rosa's face twisted in anguish once again, and she looked at the floor. Then, when she raised her head again, her brow was furrowed, and her face had become an ugly expression of anger. No, we will not. We've exhausted this topic. It's like it's not even gonna be anything new. It's just more of the same. You got an amusement park ad? What? What are the odds? The weather wasn't looking very good. The weekend forecast had said that there was a high likelihood of a tropical cyclone growing into a large typhoon. If it was true that premonitions tended to be right, then this year's family conference would probably take place in absolutely horrible weather. In fact, Natsuhi wished that a typhoon large enough to stop boat travel to the island would seal Rokkenjima away forever. I mean, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And not in the way that you expected it. If that happened, she would be able to keep Kinzo's death hidden as long as she wanted.
台風が彼らを永遠に遠ざけてくれればいいのに。
Natsuhi let out a deep sigh. Just doing that made her headache throb. As the day of the family conference approached, the intensity of her headache just kept on increasing. At that time, the phone rang. Natsuki turned the television off and picked up the receiver.
はい。お休みのところ、申し訳ございません。源氏でございます。
何事ですか?
This image just, like, it made my brain malfunction a little bit. Because it's the same image that was used for Rosa talking on the phone. It's like, wait, where are we? No, we are on Rokkenjima. It's okay.
奥様に外線からお電話でございます。ですが、名前をお名乗りになられません。
名乗らない?
Natsuhi's Rosa Umineko solved, yeah.
はい。先方は話せばわかるとは申しておりますが。
Natsuhi just teleported into Rosa's room. No big deal. Yeah, and she's talking with Genji through the internal Rokkenjima line. Without Rosa, it cannot be seen. Oh yeah, this music is always like creepy feelings.
いかがしますか? いたずらかもしれません。
どんな相手です?
おそらく若い男性ではないかと。
Oh no. Something really good in Umineko is grounds for oh no. Oh no. No no no.
お心当たりはございませんか?
若い男性?
Natsuhi didn't have a clue who that might be. In the first place, there was no one amongst her acquaintances who would do something as rude as refusing to state their name. And on top of that, a young man. Natsuhi thought that as a wife, it wasn't right for her to have connections with men other than her husband. Much less a young man. It might be considered suspicious. Yes, very scandalous. The phone call suddenly seemed like something dirty. But at the same time, she was more interested than ever in what this person wanted to tell her. I guess, in this limited context, could it be that there was some kind of trouble related to Krause's business? What if there was some particular reason that they needed to talk to Krause's wife instead of Krause directly? No matter what the message, it was her duty as a wife to hear it and relay it to Krause. If it was some strange kind of extortion attempt, she just had to firmly refuse and inform Krause that she had received a phone call like that. If the call was something irritating, then she just had to tell Genji to never again send her a call if the caller refused to state their name. Thinking this, Natsuhi told Genji, who was offering to hang up after all, to connect her to this person. And she set the receiver down. Do we get to hear this, or is this gonna be yet another thing that happens behind the scenes? After a short while, the phone rang again. Okay. This wasn't the internal line. It was the external phone line which Genji had transferred to her. So it should already have been connected directly to the mysterious man. However, the person on the other end didn't respond to her. Not liking this at all, Natsuhi spoke one more time, sounding displeased.
もしもし? 誰ですか? 名を名乗りなさい.
She heard something that sounded like a sigh. She automatically gulped. After remaining silent for a little longer, the man finally answered. That was the first time the man had spoken. I mean, I recognize the voice just from the side. I am at that level, okay? But this does not... Like, it is the voice, but this does not sound like my battler. What's happening? This is so weird. I have such creepy feelings just from these two sentences. The original game don't have voices, yeah, I guess. I guess it's a completely different feeling, but I swear, I picked up on it from the side. It's so out of character though. Not my battler, no.
何の話です？あなたは誰ですか？
The voice certainly did sound like that of a young man. But it was a bit hard to figure out much about the person just by their voice over the phone. He sounded like a young adult, but he might actually have been of middle school age, or an adult whose voice still hadn't deepened. In fact, it might have been premature to assume this person was a male at all. However, one thing was certain. Though this person spoke to Natsuhi in such a familiar and casual manner, Natsuhi had absolutely no clue who it was.
俺が誰かを名乗るのは簡単だ。だが、それでは俺があまりに悲しい。
何を言っているのか分かりかねます。あなたは誰ですか？そして私に何の用ですか？それが言えないなら興味はありません。切りますよ。
俺の望みはあんたに思い出してもらうことだ。
何を思い出せというのですか？あなたなど知りませんし、思い出すような心当たりもありません。
そんなこと言うなよ。俺はあんたの子供じゃないか。
Eh? What?
何ですって？あなたは何を言っているんです？
そんな悲しいことを言うなよ、母さん。
That unsettling word thrust itself mercilessly into the depths of Natsuhi's heart and started churning it about. In Natsuhi's entire life, no one had ever said anything so unsettling to her. In her bewilderment, Natsuhi felt her heart beat so loudly that it felt like it would explode.
あなたに母と呼ばれる覚えはありません。何のつもりか知りませんが、もう切りますよ。
俺は復讐するために帰ってきたんだ。あんた19年前の罪。
I would also call Natsuhi mommy. Oh god. Ay. Natsuhi's mind went blank. And beyond the sound of the wind howling outside the window, she most certainly heard the roar of the sea from that day.
本当はもう思い出してる。
何の話かわからないと言っています。もう二度とかけないでください。
19年前にあんたがした仕打ちを俺は忘れない。だからあんたを呪うためにあえてそれでも、いやだからこそ俺はあんたを母さんと呼ぶよ。もうすぐ親族会議じゃないか。俺も母さんの子供だからね。会議の日に帰るよ。19年ぶりにね。あんたに復讐するために。
Breathing so hard, her shoulders heaved. Natsuhi slammed the receiver down and hung up. Jessica's voice sounds... Then she hit the phone violently, knocking the receiver off, so that there was no chance of that man calling back. I can hear the roar of the sea. The voice I'm hearing from beyond the howling wind must be... No matter how I cover my ears, the headache won't. Completely pale, Natsuhi kept shivering as though cold.
Ramuda, いる？ええ、いるわよ。ベルンが望めばどこにでも。 じゃあ台所の床下収納に入ってて。ぬかみその壺の中でもいいわ。
ああ、私を味噌につけてかじってくれるの？でもそれなら蜂蜜につけてほしいものだわ。
I feel like I'm not supposed to, like, they need some privacy right now. Why do I have to witness this?
お返しにベルンは砂糖水で煮込んであげる。
せめて砂糖醤油とみりんにして。
それで何？副賞要求でも気取っちゃう？
That's okay, Bancho. Don't worry about it.
そうよ。この夏日の電話のやりとりは事実？
Lambda Delta grinned unpleasantly as though sizing Berncastle up. She was probably trying to tease Berncastle by taking her time on the repetition
副
request.
賞拒否。
さーてね、拒否か応じるかどうしようかな。それを決めるのはゲームマスターの私の自由だし、その判断をいつするかさえ自由。
青字宣言でない限りあんたに答える義務はないしね。
そういうこと今はせいぜい夏日の19年前に一体どんな秘密がとワクワクテカテカしてなさい。
Of course, the fishy telephone call occurs before October 4th, 1986. This is still before the start time of the game. So it's not necessary to question whether it's true or false in the first place.
ゲームマスターのあんたがわざわざ見せた以上、何かの布石だと思っとくよ。騙しかもしれないけれど、一応あんたのこの指し手は記憶に留めておく。
I mean, yeah, she always looks stressed in that in that particular sprite.
このカードを伏せたまま場に出すってやつね。まあ、いた。何？
ダイレクトアタック。
After suddenly being conked on the head, Lambda Delta was bewildered. But perhaps this incomprehensible exchange was funny to her because she quickly went back to giggling.
これであんたのゲーム版の準備は十分？
ええ、そうよ。それじゃあいよいよゲームを進めるわよ。
I mean, she is constantly complaining of headache, so...
1986年。
何度目の1986年10月4日かしらね。無限の魔女か。ベアトリーチェ、やはり恐ろしい子だわ。
ベルン側は何か行動ある？
ないわよ。あんたが副賞要求に応えないならそれで終わり。
ターンエンドね。スタート。クリーンアップ、ドロー。さあ来たれ。1986年
Concept of preparing the game board, I don't know. Yeah, I saw.
やっぱりこのバラ庭園は圧巻だぜ。6年前よりさらにすごくなってやがる。こんなのが似合うなんて羨ましいぜ。
んなことはねえぜ。
あ、パンチャ。
私にとっちゃ船着き場まで遠くて邪魔なだけなんだけどな。
それは贅沢な悩みだね。
毎朝バラと挨拶してから投稿。素敵素敵。こんなにいっぱいのバラみんなと挨拶してたら遅刻しちゃうね。
演者は残念だな。
お腹壊しやすいんだって。
らしいな。腸が弱いんだろうよ。しょっちゅう下痢してるぜ。
おお、レディーにそういうの言うのいけない。
それはすまねえ。そうだよな。女の子のお尻からはマシュマロが出るんだもんな。
Oh no, please don't put that image in my head.
園児は体調が悪くてマシュマロが水飴になっちまったわけだ。
Oh god. Better. It's TMI. It's just like we don't need all of these details. Classic, I guess.
それはさすがに。
I guess we're back to Battler on the first part of October 4th.
下品が過ぎるね。
George and Jessica slammed a knee and a fist right into either side of Battler's gut. Oh, I'm sorry, Bea. Try to forget that this happened and enjoy your food. I hope it's something delicious. Oh well, we gotta accept him for what he is, with the good and the bad, you know? The smack thud was probably the sound of his knees hitting the ground and him falling over. Normally, Battler possessed the good sense you'd expect of an 18-year-old man. However, it seemed that this reunion had brought him back to the mental age he had been 6 years ago. You don't say. And bit by bit, Jessica and George realized that they were also returning to the way they'd been 6 years ago. Mushroom pizza! Oh, that's nice! I have actually been craving pizza for a few days myself. I was thinking I could treat myself to that tomorrow. I can fix him. We don't have to fix him. We can love him for what he is. We accept that this is a part of him that comes together with the package of awesomeness and gentlemanly and hotness and all the good stuff. This charming chat was being observed by Natsuhi gazing through an open window in the hall.
奥様、旦那様がお探しです。
もう少ししたら行きます。まだお昼にもなっていないのに。疲れました。
The sparks had been flying between them and Eva's group only a few moments earlier. The others had pounded on Klaus and Natsuhi over and over to get Kinzo out of his study. Apparently, they hadn't been fully tricked at last year's family conference after all.
お父様は問題ありませんね。
はい、お任せを。シャノンとカノンも今日の段取りを十分に心得ております。
熊沢は嘘をつくのが上手なようですから心配しませんが、南條先生が少し心配です。隠し事が苦手そうでおられますから。
お任せを。可能な限り私が南條先生のお近くで補佐するつもりです。
あなたがいてくれるなら頼もしいですね。本当に助かります。現地の力なくして成し得ないことです。
恐縮でございます。
安心せよ。書斎の密室結界は完璧だ。結界を破らぬ限り、誰にも金蔵の秘密を暴くことなどできん。
Yes, he's such a teddy bear. Oh. I feel so bad for, like, the characters that are involved in this whole situation that just generally gave me good vibes, particularly Kanon, Shannon, and Nanjo. I feel so bad for them.
ええ、わかっています。しかしあなたも先ほどの客までのやりとりを聞いていたでしょ？
うん。やはり去年の時点で相当の不信感を持たれていたのであろうな。凄まじき毒素を溜め込み振りまいておるわ。
やはり今年が 正念場になりそうですね。
今年を何とか乗り越えることはできようが、仏の顔もなんとやらだ。さすがに来年は無理と心得た方がよかろうな。
The fact that you've gotten away with it this entire time is a miracle in itself. So oh, really? I quite liked it a lot. But I mean, that's fine. We have different tastes and we resonate with different things.
これほどまでに反魔法の毒素が満ちては、来年の親族会議でもゴールドスミス教の魔法を維持するのは難しいでしょう。
誰ですか、あなたは。
あ
あ。Edgelord vibes. Well, he is a bit more. I don't know if moody is the right word, but he's not an upbeat character. He just had like this really cool standoffish moment before he died, which I don't know. It impressed me at the time. So. Medieval jester edgelord. Oh no.
驚かずともよい。わらわの家具頭を務める男だ。
はじめまして、夏日奥様、ロノウェと申します。どうぞお見知りおきを。
頼れる男だ。この男にも密室結界を守ってもらう。
そうですか。後宮夏日です。あなたにも協力をお願いします。
はい、奥様。魔法世界からお手伝いをさせていただきます。どうかお任せを。
ついでだから私も紹介してもらおうかしら。はい、リーチェ。ご無沙汰。
ガープか。そなたまで来てくれるとは心強い。
遊びに来ただけのつもりだったんだけどね。手がいるようだったら声をかけて。はじめまして、マダム。挨拶するのは初めてだけど、私はいつだって誰のそばにでもいるわ。
こちらのガープはなかなかのいたずら者。先日、奥様が自室にてお召しになろうとして、床に落とし見つけられなかった頭痛薬。ガープの仕業でございますよ。
確かに置いたはずなのに見つけられない小物があったら、こやつのいたずらを疑うがよいぞ。わらわも昔、随分とからかわれたものだ。
そうですか。いずれにせよ、ここは後宮の屋敷です。当家にいる間は当家に従っていただきます。よろしいですね。
もちろんです。心得ております。魔法世界での現時と思い、どうぞいつでもご用命ください。
私にも客人の心得はあるつもりよ。家主の顔は潰さないわ。
ロノウェもガープも頼れるぞ。しかし魔法の世界と人間の世界は表裏一体。
分かってます。もちろん私も人間の世界から努力し、力を合わせてお父様の秘密を守りましょう。
うん。
いつもの展開だな。どうせ翌日にならなきゃ話。
まあそうね。10月4日は私にとっての準備ターンみたいなものだし、バトラに何もする気がないのなら10月5日までのんびりしててくれていいのよ。6人死んだら呼んであげる。
Of course, that was a very irritating way to say it. The fight wouldn't start until the crime occurred. However, waiting for the crime to start would mean turning a blind eye towards the murders of the first Twilight. In other words, it would be the same as being content with the fact that 6 people would die.
知ってる？チェスの先手と後手では 先手の勝率が2倍とも言われてるのよ。
戦術の進歩でだいぶ変わるけどね。後手はドローを狙えれば上々とか言われてるんだっけ？
先手必勝くらい俺も知ってるぜ。ならどうしろってんだ。
そんなだからあんたは無能なのよ。
本当に。いい？バトラー、10月4日にだって解くことができる謎は存在するわ。何が解けるか。
まさか。いや、しかし
まあ見てなさい、無能のバトラー。
I have a general idea what these witches are talking about. I've tried solving it several times myself in the past, but I still haven't found anything resembling an answer. On the contrary, I still can't even understand why that riddle exists. I mean the epitaph. That's right, the reason it exists. Why did Beto prepare a riddle like that in the first place? We all discussed it together from time to time in past games. However, I've been avoiding thinking about it under the assumption that there's no point in investigating the riddle unless we can solve it. This time I should change my viewpoint. I shouldn't just focus on the obvious parts, like the truth of the riddle and how to solve it. What's more important is why that riddle was set up in the first place and displayed for us to see. Oh, this one. I don't know how to feel about that statement. How can you hate your second favorite character? Does that mean that you hate the others even more? That's what I should be thinking about. Unironically, I can fix her. Okay. There's characters that we love to hate. Okay. And the one proposing that riddle is Beatrice. Even if I can't solve it, I should be able to try and figure out what Beata was thinking when she showed it to us. Alright, this time I'm turning the chessboard over. The witches keep calling me incompetent. Let them laugh. My enemy isn't them. I'm continuing our match, Beata. I don't know, more like no one can fix her. Oh god.
Oh?
Okay, this one. That's fine.
とうとう降り始めたようやな。
やれやれ。土砂降りは心の中だけにしたかったもんだぜ。
Oh, Rudolph, you're so poetic. The people in the parlor noticed that raindrops had started to drip down the window.
これで親族会議が終わるまで私たちには逃げ場なしってわけね。
I think that they're just rubbing some salt in the wound. But I like how Battler is just brushing it aside and it's not letting it get to him. That's how it should be.
それは兄さんたちだって同じよ。逃がさないわ。絶対に。こっちのカードは悪くないのよ。兄さんは虚勢を張ってるだけだわ。絶対に屈服させてみせる。
取引っちゅうんはな、相手を任すもんとちゃうで。
lot of 絶対に。Yeah.
落としどころを用意しておいて、相手に花を持たせて、自らに座らせるもんなんや。
秀吉さんの言う通りだわ。さっきの話もちょっと追い詰めすぎよ、エヴァ姉さん。
Very subtle lambda storytelling.
兄さんにはあれくらいでちょうどいいわよ。
なんだ、ローザは寝ちまったのか？
朝が早かったとぼやいとったな。ま、昼寝もええんとちゃうか。
下手すりゃ今夜は徹夜だ。今から仮眠も賢いかもな。
Out of consideration for Rosa, who had fallen asleep on the sofa, the others quietly left the parlor. Rosa slept unaware. After telling Maria to just stay where she was after that tantrum over not being able to find her rose, Rosa slept unaware that the rain had started to fall. Yes, she's very good. The rain poured down as though it had been saving up for this moment. Of course, Maria noticed that the rain had started falling and was soaking her to the bone. However, that just made her even more stubborn. Unable to find the poor, slightly unhealthy rose that she herself had marked, she just couldn't stand having that search be interrupted by something like the rain. So, the more the rain fell on Maria, the more stubborn she grew. And she wandered around and around the rose beds. As she did, from behind her back came a patter-patter, the sound of approaching footsteps. Then, whoever it was stepped in a very small puddle, making a light splashing sound, and Maria finally heard. However, even the slight distraction that sound caused made her feel irritated, and Maria ignored it despite having heard it.
Konnichiwa.
Maria turned around, bewildered. After all, that voice was one she didn't recognize at all. On this sealed-off Rokkenjima, that voice belonged to no person she knew.
Danna sama, okusama, sagashimashita. Taihen de gozaimasu.
Kraus and Natsuhi had been privately discussing what should be done next in a deserted corridor on the third floor. Genji had searched everywhere for them.
どうしたのかね。シーツを雨に濡らした程度ではそこまで慌てることでもないと思うがね。
何事です？何か粗相でも？
海難事故で漂流されたと申す方が先ほどお屋敷にいらっしゃられました。
Kraus and Natsuhi couldn't help but go wide-eyed and look at each other. This was the first time they had ever heard of someone coming to this island uninvited.
漂流？それは本当かね。気の毒に来客として丁重に扱いたまえ。今はどうしているのかね。
南條先生が診察しております。まだ診察中ですが、私の見た限りお疲れの様子ではありますが、怪我などをされているようには見えま
す。それはよかった。私と夏日は今大切な話をしている。終わったらすぐに見舞いに行こう。その漂流者にはぜひくつろいでほしいと伝えた。
かしこまりました。
Genji bowed deeply and started to leave, but Natsuhi called him to a stop. Genji stopped walking and Natsuhi jogged up to him.
Genji, その漂流者は男ですか？
いいえ、お嬢様くらいの若い女性でございます。
女性？そうですか。結構です。下がりなさい。
The parlor of the mansion was bustling. The adults gathered, concerned about the well-being of this sudden guest.
まあ自力でバラ庭園まで歩いてこれたなら命に別状はねえだろうな。
転ばぬ先の杖やな。ライフジャケットのおかげやろ。あれがなかったら溺れ死んどったかもわからんで。
どんな子だったの？ジョージやジェシカちゃんより上？下？
ジェシカお姉ちゃんよりは下だった。ライフジャケットと水着だった。ヘトヘトみたいだった。
漂着したのが船着き場のあたりだったなら
本当に不幸中の幸いね。もし島の反対側だったら大変だったわ。
しかし気の毒ね。この天気じゃきっと船も来られない。明日いっぱいまで彼女もこの島に釘付けかしら。
At that moment, the door clunked open and everyone looked in that direction.
皆様、お茶はいかがですか?
It was Goda and Kanon, with the latter pushing a serving cart laden with a tea set. Aw, hey, thank you for checking out the stream. Welcome, welcome. Goda understood well that doing a little extra at times like this would earn him points. The relatives, hungry for information, crowded around Goda. Goda ordered Kanon to serve the tea and became the sole object of the relatives' attention.
Goda-san, どうなんだい? その子は元気そうなのか?
It's just Goda. I don't know about you, but I didn't expect anything special to come through the door. Like, it's... At this point, I don't have expectations like that.
さあ、わかりません。ですが、心配ご無用。南條先生がつきっきりで見ておりますし、熊沢もシャノンも一緒です。どうぞ、ご安心ください。まずは紅茶でおくつろぎになってはいかがですか? さあ、カノンさん、早く配って配って。
ったく、なんで僕が。
Kanon knew that this tea was just Goda's way of earning points, so he lined the cups up with a slightly sullen air. Yeah, we're back to the mode in which Goda wasn't very likable.
マリアも手伝う。
大丈夫です。マリア様はそのままでお待ちを。
おお、マリアも配膳やる。
南條先生にはお会いしてないの？何か言ってなかった？
ええ、先ほどお会いしましたところ、それほどの外傷はないそうで、私もちらりとお見かけしたところでは。
Just as Goda had successfully captured the gazes of all present and was about to start talking knowledgeably on the subject, Nanjo returned. Of course, Nanjo instantly became the center of attention. Kanon turned his back on Goda, who seemed downhearted.
南條先生、どうなんですか、容体は。大丈夫そうなの？
皆さん、ご安心を。大丈夫です。怪我は何もありませんでした。だいぶ疲労しているようですが、今夜特に熱を出さなければ何事もないでしょ
う。ならよかったわ。お医者様はいても病院はないものね。
Everyone was relieved to hear that the girl was in good health. When Nanjo gave the more detailed results of his examination, concluding by saying that she was young and should therefore be fine, everyone who no longer fell under this description nodded in assent.
やっぱり船は怖い。落ちる。
I was about to say that.
バトラーの言う通りだった。
Butler wasn't that far off the mark.
マリアちゃん、それバトラ君には内緒ね。
ああ、奥様、旦那様。
Goda, who was feeling sorry for himself and handing out cups, called out in an excessively loud voice. Apparently, he was that desperate to get everyone's attention.
客人の具合はどうだね?
Sick.
はい。別状はないとのことでございます。
そうですか。それはよかった。今はどちらに？
熊沢さんとシャノンさんがお風呂に案内したはずだ。それから服を見立てると言ってましたな。
ならすぐに来るだろう。諸君、親族会議の日ではあるが、不幸な事故で訪れることとなった来客だ。招いた客人ではないが、どうか歓迎してやってほし
い。意義などあるわけもない。賛成や。
同じくだ。 女の子には優しくしろっておふくろも言ってたぜ。
あなたはそれを人生のモットーにしすぎよ。
ジョージたちも呼んだ方がいいわね。全員で挨拶しましょう。
そんな、かえって恐縮させちゃうんじゃない？
Eva stood up and made a phone call to the guest house. At that moment, they heard the sound of a knock, followed by Genji's voice.
源氏でございます。お客様がお越しになられました。
At those words, everyone fell into silence, and the people who had been sitting stood up straight. Genji came in first, opening the door slowly, then moved off to the side, bowing deeply and urging the guest forwards. The great detective knows. The guest had Shannon and Kumasawa following by her side. And though she looked at the large amount of relatives waiting for her in the parlor, she didn't seem overawed in the slightest. Just this single point showed that this girl possesses a dignity appropriate for a guest invited in by the Ushiromiya family.
古戸様、ご紹介申し上げます。後宮家当主代行、後宮クラウスにございます。
ようこそ六軒島へ。事故でいらしたとはいえ、あなたは当家の客人だ。歓迎しますよ。どうぞ当家おしばしの間ご自宅と思い、存分にくつろがれて。
ありがとうございます。自己紹介申し上げます。古戸エリカと申します。この度は後宮家の皆様をお騒がせしてしまい、誠に申し訳ございません。
Yeah, chat will be forever a spam of the rat emoji. But to be fair, it has been that way since she was revealed. So you guys have been spamming the rat constantly, and I have felt completely out of the loop. But you know, I just embraced it. I accepted it. Okay, they're excited for it. Great. Yeah, her dress is cute. I still don't know how she's a mouse though. Like, you are saying that. There's been nothing in the novel to suggest that just yet. Gotta gonna get fired. Cute rat has made its way into the kitchen. Oh god.
招かれざる客人であるにもかかわらずの歓迎、心より感謝いたします。
There was a general sigh of acceptance. The clothes she had been lent were probably Jessica's formal wear from long ago. But the composure of her introduction gave the impression of a dignity by no means inferior to the clothes she wore. The girl's name was Furudo Erika. She looked slightly younger than Butler and Jessica, but her composure and mannerisms were beyond what anyone would have expected from a high schooler, almost as though she was a well-to-do family's daughter.
ちょっと待て。こいつは何者だ？
無能のあんたが主役駒じゃゲームがさっぱり進まないもの。だから私自身を駒として出させてもらった。
ま、ちょっとしたエキストラね。いくらクローズドサークルだからっていつも同じ面々ばかりじゃ飽きるでしょ？
Yeah, sure. Let's just invent a whole new character and inject it into the story halfway through. So the self-insert is a rat because Burns a cat? Is that what it is?
ふざけるな。ベアとのゲーム版には存在しない駒だ。俺もベアとも認めない。
Alta status.
ベアとのゲーム版でしょ？ベアとが拒否するってんなら考えてあげるわ。
Burncast is throwing her OC into the game.
ベア その意見は？
Beato was unable to answer. Lambda Delta grinned as though in triumph.
ルールにイチャモンつけてゲームを降りてみる？あんたら推理者の得意技じゃない。自分の意に沿わない要素が一粒でもあったら、それを理由に感触を起こして思考停止を起こすのは。
安心なさい。このコマについては探偵宣言を出すわ。
探偵宣言？
フルドエリカは探偵であることを宣言するわ。探偵は犯人ではなく、その証明にはいかなる証拠も必要としない。早い話が、この子を一切疑う必要はないということよ。これなら人間の駒として登場してもいつもと変わらずに推理できるでしょ。
ノックス第7条ね。探偵が犯人であることを禁ず。原文には例外条項もあるんだけど、今回は探偵は犯人でないと赤で宣言してるから、例外は考えなくていいわ。言葉遊びは嫌いだから、私も赤で言ってあげる。フルドエリカは犯人ではない。
副賞要求。フルドエリカはこれまでのベアとのゲームに影響を与えない。い
いわ、応じる。フルドエリカはこれまでのベアとのゲームに影響を与えない。あくまでも今回初登場のエキストラよ。これまでの世界には存在しないし、影響も与えないわ。
なら今の時点での在当者の人数はどうなるんだ？
もちろんこれまでの人数にプラス1してもらうわ。でも安心して、フルドエリカが1人増えただけ。それ以外の在当者の人数はこれまでのゲームと全く同じ。
At that time, the loud sound of people running through the corridor could be heard. It was Battler George and Jessica who had come from the guest house after being called here by Eva. They immediately spotted a guest they didn't recognize and their eyes went wide. Yeah, Battler needs to assess her 3 sizes and all that jazz. He has that kind of face on.
どちら様？
お客様、落ちる落ちるで来たの。
Oh, Maria.
は？落ちる落ちる？
源氏さん、こちらの方は？
お客様のフルドエリカ様でございます。フルド様、こちらは当家令嬢のジェシカ様、並びにいとこのジョージ様、バトラ様でございます。
Isn't it a little bit weird or rude to just burst into the room and loudly talk to the other people in the room, who is this person, instead of talking to them directly? At least Genji gives her the courtesy of addressing her.
よろしく。後ろ宮ジェシカです。
はじめまして、フルドエリカです。よろしくお願いいたします。
Though Battler George and Jessica didn't have a clue what was going on and were utterly bewildered, they each introduced themselves.
好都合じゃない。
It's actually the less rude way of asking. Okay. Well, I don't belong to high-class society. I'm a pleb, and I'm happy that way.
これで人数がはっきりするわ。ゲストハウスのバトラたちが合流し、今客間には金蔵以外のすべての駒が人間が揃った。
そうなるわね。つまり今この客間にいる人数が在当者すべての人数ってことになるわね。
You gotta love how they're hanging onto the number. She's not saying these here are all of the people that are on the island. No. She's saying the number of the people in the room is equal to the number of the people on the island. Why?
18人いるはずの島が、じいさまが実は死んでて17人になった。そこにベルンカステルの駒が1人追加され。
The number of humans on this island has returned to 18. Yeah, for sure. Overtaking in my Umineko? I glanced around at the humans in the parlor. The guest, Furudo Erika. And behind her, Kumasawa-san and Shannon-chan. Off to the side was Genji-san. Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuhi were welcoming the guest. Goda-san immediately started showing off, of course he did. And Kanonken was being unsociable, wearing his usual blank expression. There was Dad and Kirie-san. Auntie Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi. Auntie Rosa and Maria. And Dr. Nanjo. And on either side of me, George Aniki and Jessica. This is everyone. The true number of people on the island at the moment.
何しろ、僕たちは全員後ろ宮だからね。気兼ねなく下の名前で呼んでほしいね。僕はジョージ。
俺はバトラだ。よろしくな。
The small bombs count as an extra person.
ありがとうございます。ジョージさん、バトラさん。私のこともエリカと呼んでもらえると嬉しいです。
よろしく、エリカさん。
Erika was welcomed like a guest, and it was decided that she could borrow the bedroom next to the cousin's room on the upper floor of the guest house. They're really tiptoeing around a number of people. They've been doing this from the very beginning. It's like starting to drive me insane. Small bombs and big implications. That's a good one. Fortunately, the name doesn't say much to me. I would have to actually check out her list of roles to figure out if I know her from somewhere. Wait, did I fully read that one? Yeah, on the upper floor of the guest house. In front of all the relatives, she had seemed dignified and... Oops, sorry. Yeah, I clicked. And a bit stiff. However, as she talked with George and Jessica, her expression began to soften gradually. And so, the detective, Furudo Erika, was placed on the game board.
Jessica の昔の服、あんなに似合うなんて思いませんでした。
熊沢が勝手にお嬢様の昔の服を使用してしまいました。お許しください。
The clothes Erika was wearing were Jessica's old formal attire. Though the guest possessed a dignity that would put many adults to shame, her body was still physically similar to a middle schooler's. Jessica's old clothes fit her perfectly.
いいえ。
But like, yeah, oh, let's give her some of Jessica's old clothes, but let's just go with the full bang of it and give her the formal attire, not just, you know, any, like, just a dress that she could wear. Ah, Rosa Maiden, yeah, I've seen that. Mm-hmm.
お客様にふさわしい身なりでしたよ。もし彼女が気に入るようでしたら、お近づきの印にプレゼントしても良いでしょう。
Man, it feels like a lifetime ago that I watched that. Jeez.
かしこまりました。ありがとうございます。
警察やご家族には連絡しましたか？
はい。先方も大層ご心配なされていたようでした。
ところで、客人は本当に事故でしょうね。
ご本人は寄港中のボートから転落したとおっしゃっております。
And she conveniently was wearing a swimsuit and a life jacket, even though she hadn't intended to fall in the water. I mean, the life jacket, I think it's just a requirement if you're on the boat for safety, whatever. But Yeah, she was wearing a swimsuit through a typhoon. Yeah, I recognize Rudolph's voice in the beginning as well. It's just... I mean, I've gotten used to it, but it has such a different nuance than Kiritsugu's voice that I was a little bit... Oh, it's similar, but it's so different at the same time. Of what you listed there, I've only seen Rose and Maiden. I'm sorry. I heard of all the others, just never sat down to watch them.
裏付けはありますか？海保に問い合わせて確認しました。プレジャーボートの後部から転落したそうで、他の乗員たちは気づかなかったようです。実際の転落地点は分かりませんが、おそらくはここの近海でしょう。
この悪天候に船遊びなど愚かなことです。しかし近海で溺れてこの島に漂着することは考えられるのですか？
ありえないことではありません。この辺りの島には大抵漂流民が流れ着いた伝承がございます。おそらく事故は真実ではないかと。
Yeah, I understand now. I see it. Character profile? Okay, let's see. Yeah, there she is. I like her stockings, I will give it that. I love patterned stockings. Fell from the pleasure boat, Eternal Maid the second? Is that how I'm supposed to read it? Made a cruise in the waters near Rokkenjima. She washed up on Rokkenjima on October 4th, 1986. The Ushiromiya family welcomed her as a guest. She managed to drift to the island unharmed thanks to several miracles, including the life jacket she was wearing. Yeah, I see. The stuff that Lambda is inserting is how do I put it? It's revolving around certainties, and like she's dropping a lot of zetainis, as was mentioned earlier in chat as well. And the stuff that Burn is inserting is revolving around miracles. Yes. Right. It was just through a miracle that she was wearing a swimsuit and a life jacket. Great. Ah.
この台風です。島のどこであろうとも、船での接岸は不可能です。
Genji had already figured it out. Natsuhi almost certainly suspected that this mysterious guest who had arrived during the already high-stress family conference might be a pawn in someone's plot. Therefore, Genji had already checked to make sure that the accident was real, that Furudo Erika was her real name, and that there was nothing suspicious going on.
わかりました。主人も丁重にもてなすようにと指示しています。粗相のないようになさい。ですが、わかっていますね。
はい。親族会議には一切近づけません。夕食後はゲストハウスへお引き取り願います。
客人をお父様に挨拶させろというような流れにもならないよう、よく注意するのですよ。
もちろんです。心得ております。
Genji's head is so smooth. What do you mean?
ほう。フルドエリカとな。この六軒島に来客とは珍しい。楽しませてくれそうではないか。
ベルンカステル教の駒でしょう。人間のルールに従うとはいえ、プレイヤーは魔女です。侮ることはできませんよ。
問題ない。仮にベルンカステル教本人であろうとも、人間である以上、わらわたちの敵ではない。何しろガープもいる。人間はガープに絶対に勝てぬ。
ありがとう。でも買いかぶりすぎは良くないわ。魔女の定義は魔法が使えることだけを意味したりはしない。
ですが、ジョーカーであり、台風の目である。それが魔女というもの。
この六軒島で魔女と名乗ってよいのはこのわらわ、黄金の魔女にして無限の魔女ベアトリーチェのみである。ベルンカステル教名。エンジェの次なるコマがどの程度のものか、じっくりと観覧させてもらおうぞ。
Yeah. It sounds like a statement that will come to bite them in the behind later on. My mind is really struggling right now too, because wasn't this supposed to be a piece, Beatrice? But she is self-aware, or like aware of the context of the game, aware of the previous iterations of the game, enough to comment that this is Byrne's piece, and to see how it's gonna go after Enji, who was the previous piece, was already played out. I don't feel like I had any good catch. I'm just confused. Because the player Beatrice, or not player, but like the meta world Beatrice, she's in the state that we've seen her be, right? So this is the piece Beatrice, the one that's supposedly invented by Natsuhi's mind. But she's aware of what's happening, and it's just okay. Yeah. Witch of Miracles, okay. Erika's seat was the lowest one in rank. In other words, it was at the inferior end of the table. Yeah, and eventually I would turn into that guy from the meme. Like she's controlled by Lambda, okay. Okay. Any other piece that's gonna become self-aware and act on its own, or comment on things on its own, and I sure hope this does not repeat again later on, because this is the limit of what I can handle from Lambda and Byrne. I feel like they just need to get a room and sort their issues out. Why are they torturing us? Okay. I'm not sure if I know what that image is, those daters. Enja called herself a piece too. Yes, but wasn't that the Enja that was present in that place with the purple light where they were having tea and talking about the game? So she would be aware of the meta level of it, right? She wasn't involved in the story as a piece directly interacting with the characters that went to the family conference and blah blah blah. But she was kind of playing outside of the game board. So I kind of understand that a lot better. That doesn't confuse me as much as this. Get a room and yeah. Whatever they need to do. They seem to have a lot of stuff to work through. In the Discord, let's see. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I don't know the source material, but it's like, you know, the meme of the guy being very into the whole thing. Yes, pretty much. But I don't want to get there. I no. Since Kinzo's seat at the high end of the table was empty... Hello? If you turned the whole thing around, it sort of looked like Erika was the host of this dinner.
それでは皆様、本日の晩餐を始めさせていただきたいと思います。
After Goda's announcement, dinner began with the almost customary applause. It was finally the beginning of the dinner orchestra conducted by Toshiro Goda. Sitting at such a majestic dinner table was no everyday thing for these people by any means, except for those in Krause's immediate family. However, they were all used to it and acted as though this was completely normal. Again, if anyone was to be surprised, it should have been Erika. And yet she showed no surprise at this dinner, and acted with composure, blending in with everyone else. There wasn't even a sliver of the fear one might expect from someone who had wandered here like a lost puppy.
不思議な子ですね。後宮家の1年間で最も豪華な晩餐を前に何も取り乱さないとは。
I mean, her specifically aside, why would an outsider care about it being the Ushiromiya family's grandest dinner? Like, what kind of value does that hold to an outsider? None.
最近の子は肝が据わってるわ。嫌いじゃないわ。そういう。
フルドさんはこういう食事には慣れているのですか？大した落ち着きようだ。
ほんまやな。ずいぶん手慣れたもんや。わしなんか未だに次はどのフォークを使えばいいんか混乱するんやで。ああ、こっちやったか。それともこっちやったか。
Oh, come on, Hideyoshi. Everyone knows that the rule is you just start with the ones on the outside. And you use them, and then when your plate is taken away, those are taken away too, and then you use the next ones, and the next one. That's it. That's all there is to it. Yeah, I understand that part, but like the whole, oh, this is our grandest dinner of the year, like, get over yourselves a little bit, you know. Erika had been gracefully eating her hors d'oeuvre, without showing any confusion over the line of utensils in front of her. Hideyoshi started joking around with her, gripping a fork in each hand. Of course, the president of a company in the food service industry like Hideyoshi would obviously know his table manners. However, thinking that Erika must be nervous over this dinner, he had intentionally spoken with a comic tone of voice. Yeah, that's why Hideyoshi is so cool. You didn't know what exactly?
外側から順に使うだけですし。
There you go. Why do I even say things? I should just read.
面倒だったらお箸を頼めばいいんです。日本人ならお箸です。お箸はいいですよ。
Zeku just used with his hands like a real man. Ah, the mental image. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, because why would it be any other way? This is the easiest. Even Erika knows and Zeku doesn't. I'm sorry, Zeku.
これ一膳あればどんな料理でも対処できます。
I mean, it depends if the food was made with chopsticks in mind. Yeah. Sorry, I clicked. As soon as she began talking about chopsticks, her eyes started glittering. The smile she now showed for the first time was far different from the dignity she had shown before, and more like something you'd expect from someone her age. She would eat cereal with chopsticks if she could. Yeah, see, like, even things like soups and stuff, they need to be planned ahead with the thought in mind that you will eat them with chopsticks, right? Because then you cannot really put soup on a deep plate. You would have to put it in a bowl so that you can slurp, you know, and then use the chopsticks for the solid things in the soup or stuff like that. You know? It's I don't know if the dinner was envisioned as being eaten with Western type of utensils. I don't think it's that easy to switch chopsticks in any context. But I do appreciate her enthusiasm for chopsticks because I love them too.
カレーライスはさすがにスプーンでしょう。
Oh, there it is, see?
丼に盛ればいいんです。牛丼をスプーンで食べる人いますか？いませんよね。
Oh yeah, I see her mouth. I see what you guys mean by being a
日本人なら断じて絶対鉄頭鉄尾お箸です。
Okay. Okay, that's a little bit taking it too far.
というわけでゴーダさん、すみませんがお箸をお願いします。私が日本人として恥ずかしくない食べ方をご覧に入れてみせましょう。
I have the feeling Goda would not like that.
ところで、次のお料理は何ですか？
それが困ったことに、次はスープでございまして。
As she pretended to shrug, Erika winked at everyone. Of course, no one was laughing at her. She obviously knew that soup came after hors d'oeuvre in a full-course meal. Furthermore, Erika had even noticed that she had performed a little too perfectly, creating a sense of tension that led Hideyoshi to think that she was nervous herself, and that this was why. Okay. That this was why he had tried to break the ice. Okay, sorry. Sometimes the way things are written in these descriptions, it really boggles my mind. Some non-Twitch related laughter. Yeah, at least there's that. The sarcasm is seeping through the screen. That's all. That was why she'd started behaving a little childish and lighthearted, acting out the part of a guest enjoying a harmonious dinner. Very smooth, Burn. Very, very smooth. Pretty soon, not only Kiria but everyone else also caught on. Even though she was an uninvited guest, she was apparently worthy of participating in an Ushiromiya family dinner.
頭のいい子ね。本当にこの子、偶然の来客なの？実は今日の親族会議にこっそり読んだ兄さんの隠し子じゃないの？
Oh my god. At this point, you know, this is not that far-fetched.
賢く場を和ますセンスもあるようだ。マナーも見事じゃないか。あんな子が娘だったら悪くはないね。
Who knows who everyone's actual parents are, and who everyone's child actually is. It's okay. At this point, it's all up in the air. It's up for grabs. It's fine.
それはひでえぜ。ジェシカちゃんの立つ瀬がなくならな。
ひどいわ、ルドルフ兄さん。
どうしたんだい、ジェシカちゃん。頭痛かい？
私の評価がずんずん下がってる気がするぜ。
こりゃ本家の令嬢として負けられねえだろ。お前も日頃夏日おばさんに仕込まれてるテーブルマナーと貫禄で対抗してみろよ。
How do you fight back with table manners?
見たいテーブルマナー見たい。
ほら、はしゃぐのはマナー違反だよ。ささ、ジェシカちゃん、お手本を見せてあげて。
もちろんだぜ。
Jessica straightened up so much it looked like someone had poked her in the back with a pole. She had good posture, but it somehow lacked elegance. She looked, well, kind of like a triangle ruler. Oh, come on. I love her too. This is unfair. Justice for Jessica. Come on. See who can resist the urge to put their elbows on the table the longest. Oh, Jesus. She sat at attention with her gaze fixed straight ahead, tried to bring her food to her mouth despite this, and failed miserably. Dad, who was sitting next to her, suddenly realized that something was up.
どうしたんだ、ジェシカちゃん。腹でも痛えのか?
Jessica turned bright red. Ah, sorry, I can't help myself. We laughed our heads off. Jessica protested, still bright red. Aunt Natsuhi scolded us for not behaving ourselves. In the end, no matter how much we tried to smooth it over, we were who we were. We couldn't act like we were anything else. I like that conclusion. Still, that laughter really did help us to relax. We had been so concerned about the guest getting nervous that we had grown even more nervous ourselves. The lively chatter spread from where we were sitting at the center of the long table to both ends. And ultimately the dinner went even more smoothly than usual. With some delicious cheese and coffee, our peaceful meal came to an end. Goda won unanimous acclaim and was praised for his skill by all present. After a short period of harmony following the meal, it was decided that we would return to the guest house. Normally, dinner tended to have a very dark atmosphere about it, and the adults would often move right on to the family conference with the same dark atmosphere. However, perhaps because this year's dinner had been oddly peaceful, everyone decided to take a break, the adults included. After eating, taking a bath and relaxing while watching TV, I wonder if they'll gather again in the mansion in the middle of all this rain and resume their high-tension family conference. I'd rather not think about that. Auntie Eva seemed to get very worked up trying to convince the rest to start the family conference right away, but it didn't look like many people agreed with her. The meeting had probably come to a close for the night. Interesting, that's different. Since they had guest house duty, Goda-san and Kumasawa-san were chosen to guide us to the guest house. It must be tough for Goda-san. Even after making and cleaning up such an extravagant dinner, he also has the midnight shift at the guest house. Oh, poor him. I heard that Kumasawa-san, old as she was, would be going to sleep soon. It seemed that she had been assigned to the servants' quarters in the guest house.
皆様をゲストハウスまでご案内させていただきます。エリカ様のお部屋もご用意できております。
ありがとうございます。
体調はどうです？具合が悪かったりはしませんか？
ああ、そうだよな。すっかり忘れてたけど、エリカちゃんは溺れてて流れ着いたんだよな。今日は無理しねえで、早く寝た方がいいだろうな。
全然平気です。それよりも緊張と興奮でむしろ寝つけないくらいです。じゃあ遊ぼう。みんなで遊ぼう。トランプしよう。
Maria latched onto her, giggling. This lack of restraint particular to youth was very much like Maria. But for now, we really should be thinking about Erika's physical condition.
マリア、トランプは私たちと一緒に遊ぼう。エリカお姉ちゃんは疲れてるんだってさ。
トランプも好きですよ。一息つきましたら、ぜひご一緒させてください。やったー！あれはどちら様ですか？
As she passed through the lobby of the entrance hall, Erika stopped walking. When we saw what she was looking at, the rest of us also stopped.
ああ、あちらは黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェ様でございますよ。
黄金の魔女。
何やってんだガキども。さっさとゲストハウスへ引き上げるぞ。
What is this translation? Dad, Kiryu-san, Auntie Eva, Uncle Hideyoshi, and Auntie Rosa all came over. The guest house party had all gathered. However, Erika's gaze was captured by the portrait of the witch, and she simply stared at it for a while.
Ah. 親父は200億相当の黄金を隠し持っていて、その隠し場所をあの碑文に記したって言われてる。
Perhaps because it was too early for them all to disperse into their individual rooms, the relatives who had returned to the guest house were all gathered downstairs, continuing their chat. The topic was the witch's epitaph, which Erika had taken an interest in.
魅力的な謎ですね。誰にでも見られるところに堂々と張り出し、私たちの知恵に挑戦する。そういう挑戦、大好きです。
I was just thinking, I do not appreciate challenges to my intellect. Leave my intellect in peace. It just wants to rest.
ひゅー。エリカちゃんは案外ノリがいいな。謎解きとか好きなのか？
面白そうじゃないですか。そういう挑戦。多分金蔵さんはあの碑文によって跡継ぎを選ぼうというつもりに違いありませんね。
When she said that, the adults froze and slowly turned to face Erika.
どうしてそう思うの?
Interesting. She knows nothing of the family, but suddenly draws such conclusions. Auntie Eva spoke with a coaxing voice, though there had been whisperings between the relatives every now and then that the person who solved the epitaph's riddle might inherit the family headship. That had been nothing more than wishful thinking, since such a thing had never been specifically stated. And yet, though she had only read it once, this outsider had already reached that conclusion. Rat deduction powers activate. How had she come to it? No, that wasn't the problem. If you solve the epitaph, you can become the next head. She wanted to establish this not as wishful thinking, but an outright fact. So they closed in around Erika, asking why she was so sure. All of these adults who don't know, who are scheming left and right for the inheritance and whatever, suddenly gathering around a child who had just arrived on the island, who's speculating on this topic. Somehow there's something wrong with that picture in my mind. But I get it. It's...
大富豪が謎を解いた者に富を譲るというのは割とよくあるシチュエーションです。
It's Byrne playing things this way, I get it.
そしてご当主の金蔵さんはその碑文を新聞に載せたのではなく、お屋敷の中に掲示しました。つまりこのお屋敷の人間を対象にした謎だということです。
そうだよな。この屋敷の中である以上、この屋敷に出入りできない者には解きようがない。つまりこの屋敷の人間にじいさまは挑戦してきたってわけだ。
グッド。
Oh no, she does the English thing too. Okay.
良い思考です。あの碑文が屋敷内にあったという一時からでも、その程度のことを読み取ることが可能です。
At first, this Furudo Erika girl had seemed to be the fairly silent type, but apparently that wasn't the case. When she grew excited about being challenged to a game of wits, she became much more talkative than I had imagined.
なるほどな。
Are you gonna repeat everything that she says in English in chat? Maybe.
屋敷の中に碑文があるんは
It's cute.
屋敷の人間に読ませるためってのは確かに道理や。
Mayhaps. Could be.
でも家督を譲る相手までも選ぶというのは言い切れるものなの？
この謎を解いて得られる宝がほんのささやかなものでしかないなら、私もそこまでは思いません。
そうよね。隠された黄金の価値は200億。それはまさに後宮家の財産そのものだわ。
それを受け継ぐということは、後宮家を引き継ぐことと限りなく同じ意味です。つまり碑文に込めた黄金の隠し場所という謎は、後宮家の実質的な後継者選びに他ならないということです。
The idea that the person who solved the epitaph would be chosen as the next head was something that had been floating around between a few of the relatives for a while now. However, since it had never been stated specifically, they had thought of it as nothing more than an optimistic dream. And so they had abandoned all consideration of that aspect and left it as a grey area. Erika had declared in clear terms that this uncertain part was in fact true. If one of the relatives had said it, the others would have thought it to be merely an optimistic dream. However, when declared by a complete stranger child, yeah, further Erika, a complete outsider, whose words seemed more credible than they otherwise would have, Burn, your mystery weaving skills are not really there. She feels so shoehorned into the story. It's unreal. Everyone remained silent for a while, slowly considering what those words implied. Erika, the main character, is talking.
ただ碑文がそこに存在するだけで、フルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。
Oh, aren't you patting yourself on the back?
いかがでしょうか、皆様方。
横やりで申し訳ねえけどさ、一応はうちの父さんが次期当主なわけだぜ。隠し黄金を誰が見つける云々はともかくよ、見つけたら当主ってのはそういうことにはならねえんじゃねえかよ。
Jessica thought the treasure hunting part of the epitaph was really fun. However, she couldn't help but let her expression grow bitter once they started talking about undermining her father's position.
私の推理から演繹する限り、金蔵さんは次期当主のクラウスさんに円滑な当主継承を望んでいないと考えられます。
どうしてだよ。
莫大な財産を持つ後宮家の当主なら、政治的な意味で様々な影響力を持つことになるでしょう。ならば本来その継承は厳格であり、一切の紛れが入るべきではありません。
そうね。うちの人の好きな戦国武将の話でもよくあるわ。跡継ぎ候補が複数いたりすると、大抵お家騒動の火種になる。
そうやな。
Yes, I mean, sure, the detective in a mystery novel has that kind of position, but it develops more or less organically in a good novel, I would say. She doesn't feel organic at all, but okay, we'll roll with it.
だからトラブルを未然に防ぐためにしっかりと後継者を指名しておくのが大切。時には競合する後継者を粛清することさえあるんやで。
Even the Sengoku commander Hideyoshi admired. Toyotomi Hideyoshi made his son-in-law Hidetsugu commit seppuku. Right. But it was rumored that he might have done this to make Hideyoshi, who was his real son and born after Hidetsugu. Sorry, Hideyori. Hideyori. I was so confused. Wait, it's the same name? No. Hideyori, who was his real son and born after Hidetsugu, his true heir. Okay. Oh, really? That's sad. That's sad. In other words, naming a successor was a way to make it known to the world that a given single unique person would be acknowledged by everyone as the successor. And a way to remove any chance of another person becoming an opposing candidate.
ぐっと。まさにその通りです。
And Chad repeats it in 3, 2, 1. There it is.
あのような碑文の存在はクラウスさんの次期当主の肩書きを危ぶませる意味しかありません。つまり金蔵さんがクラウスさんに当主を円満に継承させたいと願うなら、あのような危険なものをわざわざ人目にさらす理由がないわけです。
そうね。チェス盤をひっくり返せば確かにそう言える。当主は継承するけれども200億の黄金は譲らない。解けた誰かに譲るというのはおかしな話だわ。
It's okay, it's okay, we get it. Sorry, wait. Giving up the title of the head, but only giving the 20 billion yen in gold to the person who solved the epitaph. You really couldn't call that passing on the headship in the truest sense.
そういうことです。以上の推理により、金蔵さんがクラウスさんを本当に後継者だと認めていたか怪しむことができるわけです。ただ碑文がそこに存在するだけで。フルダエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。
That's a good summary of this novel. That line right there, it's on point.
いかがでしょうか、ジェシカさん。
なんだよそれ。何が推理だ。
She's even taunting Jessica.
デタラメだ。こじつけだ。
Jessica let her emotions lay bare and glared at Erika. Erika, on the other hand, looked exceedingly calm with an expression that said, "The truth is the truth." I see. Yeah, I can see the smugness. Without love, small bombs. Ooh. Yeah, very friendly, very pleasant. I see, it looks like table manners aren't the only way this Erika girl is fitting for the Shiromiya family. It seems she really is like the family, even in ways that it wouldn't have been better. That it would have been better if she wasn't.
まあまあ、落ち着けよ、ジェシカ。
Yeah. Jessica would look really cool in that.
エリカもそれくらいにしろって。
まあその後継者云々の話は置いといてもやな。いずれにせよお父さんからのビッグクエスチョンやというのは間違いないやろな。
There she in English. Oil and water. That was cute. That was so cute.
200億やで。マリアちゃん、もし見つけたら何に使う？
おお、黄金鏡は黄金だけじゃない。もっと神聖な場所なの。
Uncle Hideyoshi persisted with his fake laughter, attempting to force the mood to improve. Everyone else tried to go along with him, but Jessica's mood didn't get any better. I mean, can you blame her?
エリカちゃんも碑文の謎に挑戦してみたくなったのかい？
はい。灰色の脳細胞がうずきまくりです。ですので、謎解きを早速始めたいと思います。
Judge Aniki skillfully turned the conversation around. Just like the time she had made everyone laugh in the dining hall, Erika looked about with gleeful eyes and jumped at the chance. So, if she solves it, does she inherit the head?
気に入ったわ。せっかくエリカちゃんが面白がってくれてるんだし、また去年みたいにみんなで謎解きをしてみましょうよ。
私コーヒー入れるわ。欲しい人は手を挙げて。マリアはダメよ。眠れなくなっちゃうでしょ。
リアもブラック飲む。
I find it hard to believe a child would ask for black coffee.
ワクワクしません？こういう謎、私は大好きです。
Erika said that and smiled. Even though she must have known that she ticked Jessica off and made the atmosphere sour, she just smiled nonchalantly.
別に10月5日の事件を待たなくても解ける謎はあるってわけ。
そりゃ俺も何度か挑んださ。だが
でもさっぱりわからなかったから投げ出して考えるのをやめたでしょ。
It pissed me off, but I didn't have a good counter for that. After all, I don't get the epitaph at all. I don't even know what the beloved home of old means, much less the parts about the sweet fish river and the key. Thinking that a few more hints would show up if I waited, I kept on waiting and just stopped thinking.
あなたなりの答えは準備できてる？私が今から解いちゃうから。
何？
ペルーはね、ここで碑文の謎を解いちゃったのよ。さすが奇跡の魔女ね。解ける謎であるならば難易度に関係なく必ず解ける。今度は解くのに何年かけたの？
失敬ね。かけらをほんの数百個ほど漁っただけじゃない。
やっぱり恐ろしいわ。
それは赤で答えをいきなり語るとかそういうインチキじゃねえんだろうな。
安心なさい。あなたと同じプレイヤーとしてのルールにのっとってよ。じゃあ始めようかしら。ここじゃ狭いわ。海の上で話しましょう。
オッケー。酔わないでね、バトラー。
What?
海って何の話だ？
Right after I thought the world had turned pitch black, I was struck by a strange floating sensation. Oh no. It must have felt like suddenly having the floor drop from under you, sending you into a bottomless pitfall. When I looked, I saw that the two witches and I had been thrown into a pitch-black universe. The space was cloaked in endless darkness in every direction, and it felt like an infinite expanse filled with countless glittering objects. Instead of a universe, some people might have likened it to the depths of an ocean where countless glittering fragments drifted. That lens flare effect. Ay, ay, ay.
酔うなと言ったのに。
重力の概念が欲しいなら自分で生み出しなさい。ほら、落ち着いて私たちを見て。ほら、私たちは平気そうにしてるでしょ。足元に大地があって重力に支配されていると信じなさい。そうすれば安定できるから。
She's right. The two witches were standing normally, as though their feet were planted on a transparent piece of glass. I was the only one floating about like someone in a rapidly plummeting elevator. When I saw that they were just fine, I started calming down, figuring that there was no need to be scared. Yeah. Yeah. Then, just as Lambda Delta said, I gritted my teeth and kept telling myself that there was a place to stand here and that I had to calm down. Just seeing it, it makes me think of like very early versions of photo manipulation software that had this effect, and I was obsessed with using it on everything. I was one of those people, I admit.
お上手お上手。あんたの名前は？
後宮バトラー。他の誰に見えるよ。
オッケー。自分の意志、感情、 姿や形を決して喪失してはダメよ。ここは海なんだからね。意味を喪失すれば永遠の深淵に落ちて海の藻図よ。気をつけなさい。
I didn't get what Lambda Delta was saying, but I tried to calm down for the time being. It seemed to be regaining my balance the more I seemed to be regaining my balance the more I calmed down. Gradually, that weird floating feeling like I was falling forever began to disappear. It still felt strange, like struggling to stand upright at the bottom of a deep pool, but it was much better than before.
では始めるわ。碑文の謎を解くためのかけらを紡ぐ。
Berncastle opened both of her hands. Then, like a planetarium, all of the fragments throughout this empty space began to spin, leaving tails behind them. The expression planetarium might have been even more fitting than I thought. Multiple fragments were tied together by gold lines, and what looked like constellations zoomed by us rapidly, one after another. It felt almost as though we were dashing through space at an incredible speed. Then, with tails of light drifting behind them, several brightly glowing fragments swirled around Berncastle. It looked almost like she had created her own solar system with her as the sun. That solar system surrounding Berncastle grew to a radius large enough to swallow us up. And every once in a while, one of the satellite fragments zoomed right past me. Oh man. When those fragments passed right by me, it felt as though some kind of memory welled up inside me. I could feel it in my gut. These fragments were probably like crystals of memories.
記憶じゃないわ。世界のかけらよ。まあ、あんたには記憶のように感じられるだろうけどね。
では、まずはこのかけらから。
One of the satellites in this solar system was slowly sucked in towards Berncastle, and its orbit around her decayed. It drew a spiral as it approached her and came to rest on the palm of her outstretched hand. Then it shone brightly, painting over the world with pure white.
懐かしき故郷は私たちの想像をきっと裏切らないわ。お父様が唯一懐かしむ過去は少年時代だけだもの。
覚えてるぜ。これは第3のゲームでエヴァおばさんが碑文の謎を解く直前にしていた自分の中の魔女とやらとの考察だ。
そうよ。そしてこの考察から彼女は正解を紡ぎ出した。つまり正解へ至る重要なヒントを示すかけらということ。つまりこの推理は間違っていないということなの。
つまり懐かしき故郷とやらば何かの比喩でも何でもなく、そのままじいさまが少年時代を過ごした故郷と読み取っていいということなのか。
そういうこと。そして少なくともそれは小田原ではないわ。
生まれは確かに小田原だけど、お父様が懐かしむ故郷は多分小田原のことじゃないわ。それについては多分兄弟たちは全員同じ場所で認識してるわね。
そうね。多分小田原じゃないわね。聞いた話ではとても楽しい少年時代だったそうよ。
そうだな。エヴァおばさんたち兄弟は小田原であることを否定していた。いや、それどころかみんなはじいさまの故郷がどこか察しているようだった。
そう。そして意地悪なことにそれがどこなのかは
I was about to say
どのかけらでも語って
They all know, but they don't say it out loud.
そりゃそうでしょう。それを教えてあげちゃったらヒントが過ぎちゃうわ。
That's cute.
難易度の高い謎でなきゃ意味がないんだから。あらいけない。これもヒントになっちゃうわね。
一体じいさまの故郷というのはどこだったんだ。それがわからなくちゃ始まらない。
始まらないから思考を停止したわけ？住み得た場所である以上、それは有限の範囲内だわ。まあ、ここが一番辛いところなんだけれ
ど。お前は確か解ける謎である限り絶対に解ける魔女だったな。つまりお前はその有限の範囲内、つまり地球上の全てからじいさまの住んでそうな土地を全て想定して考えたのか。
そうしてもいいけれど、それじゃあ時間がいくらあっても足りないわ。だからさらにヒントを加味して答えを絞る必要があった。自分で言ったじゃない。水の流れる川かどうかわからないって。あゆという言葉がそんなにもややこしいなら忘れてしまえば。川で考えるの。川で。家系図という連想は悪くないわ。その要領で川から連想するものを他にも考えてみて。故郷を貫く鮎の川。しかしその川は本当の意味での川ではない。エヴァは川から連想できる他のものを考えたわ。
そうだな。しかし川じゃないなら鮎って何なんだ。
考えなさい。故郷を貫く川。でも水の流れる川じゃないわ。川のようにも例えられるもの。懐かしき故郷を貫く鮎の川。エヴァは故郷がどこか分かってたから鮎というヒントを切り捨てて考えたけど、故郷を知らない私たちにはヒントになりうるかもしれないわ。
鮎の川に悩みすぎたわ。鮎なんて大した意味ないじゃない。
そんなことないわよ。立派なヒントだったじゃない。まあ確かに鮎である必要はなかったかもね。
鮎って何なんだ。川が言葉通りの川でない以上、鮎だってもちろん泳ぐ魚を意味したりはしないはずだ。
そうね。その上ローザに至っては鮎に大した意味はないとまで言い捨ててるわ。
No, it's fine.
その一方でエヴァは鮎である必要はないが立派なヒントだったとも言っている。つまり鮎は何かを想起させる鍵だということ。その何かが他の単語であっても想起できるなら、エヴァの言う鮎である必要はないがという言葉につながってくる。
From these thoughts, Auntie Eva formed some theory, went to the archive, looked through some kind of book, and verified she was right. In short, Auntie Eva formed some theory about the true nature of this sweetfish river running through his home of old. Then she opened a certain book to determine whether that theory was correct or not. In other words, this theory was something that could be verified through some kind of book. Hint arcs. Also, after she figured out that, figured out what the Sweetfish River was, she figured out the rest of the riddle very quickly.
よい思考よ。碑文は川を下ればやがて里ありと続く。エヴァはその時点ではそこから始まる産業の謎を解けてはいなかった。
里って何？里ってどういう意味？この川を下ると里なんてあるの？
All those pieces that I hadn't been able to understand at all were right before my eyes, starting to snap into place all by themselves. I couldn't even remember to close my open mouth. My throat grew completely dry. Is it really alright for this to be the answer? Really? Really?
つまり故郷を貫く鮎の川が分かれば自動的に川を下れば里あり云々が分かって黄金鏡の鍵が手に入るってわけだ。
そういうことよ。エヴァもその書物を読んで確かめるまでは川を下った里のことは分からなかったみたいだし。
くそ、その書物って何なんだ。
でもこれは全然6文字じゃないわ。これが答えに間違いないって断言できるけど、これは全然6文字に満たない。
また思考停止ならそれを6文字で読める方法を考えなさい。思いつかないなら調べなさい。きっと答えはある。それを疑ってはダメ。それが信じられないならとっとと泣き寝入りでもしてへそでもかんで死んじゃえば。
1、2、3、4、5、6。6文字。見つけた。これが黄金鏡への鍵。
そしてエヴァは黄金鏡への鍵を見つけたわ。
ああ。そしてその鍵というのは6文字の何か。言葉か数字か文字列なんだ。
そういうこと。鍵の正体が6つの文字だと分かれば第一の番の意味がだいぶ分かってくる。
第一の番に鍵の選び師6人を生贄に捧げよう。鍵の選び師6人。6文字。
In other words, it means on the first twilight sacrifice the 6 characters chosen by the key.
この鍵がある特定の6人を指し示す、いいえ、ある特定の6つを指し示すという、もしこれが文字通りに生贄を捧げろという意味でないならば、例えばアナグラムかもしれないわ。
アナグラム？文字遊びのことかな。
That's right, Kirie-san theorized this already way back then.
第2の番に残されし者はとある。ということは少なくともその何かは有限の文字数なのよ。そこから6文字を抜いて残った文字で話を進めろと読み解けるわ。
つまり第一の番に6文字以上の文字列から鍵である6文字を殺し残った文字でどうにかしろという意味なんだ。
そういうこと。ただ当時の切り絵も言ってる。ならば何から6文字を殺せばいいのか。その殺す大元の文字列がわからない。
On the first twilight, kill the 6 characters that are the key. On the first twilight.
つまり第一の番という時点でもう何かの文字列が存在するということなのか。しかし第一の番じゃ4文字しかない。他の読み方か。じいさま風に英語で読むなら第一の番ってなんだ。ファーストナイトか。
バトラさんのその考え、なかなかです。鍵の選びし6人の生贄を6文字の文字列と読み解く。柔軟な発想だと思います。鍵が、鍵の形状をしたものとは限りませんから。
アナグラムの可能性は私も考えてたの。
そういや、以前そんなことを言ってたな。しかし、だとしたら、何から6文字を抜くんだ？
そうね。6文字も抜く以上、それ以上の文字数だわ。第1の番を6文字以上にどう読み解けばいいのかしら。
お父様のセンスなら、やっぱり英語なのかしら。
行き詰まるようなら、先に第2の番に進み、ヒントを探してみましょう。残されし者は寄り添う2人を引き裂け。残されし者は6文字を抜いた後に残った文字だと考えてよいでしょう。
となると、寄り添う2文字とはどういう意味になるんだろうね。
そうか。わかったぜ。つまりはこういうことだ。
For example, let's take the following list of 9 characters. And then let's say that the 6 characters offered as sacrifices are 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We erase the affirmation 6 characters and get... Okay, I don't know how to read that. You can see it, it's fine.
2と4と5が残るな。それでどうなるってんだ？
あ、4と5、寄り添ってる。
そうか、わかったで。つまり寄り添いし2人っちゅうんは。
そうさ。2と4は間が空いているが、4と5は隣り合っている。寄り添いし2人だ。
グッと。お見事です、バトラさん。引き裂くという意味が、4と5も潰せという意味なのか、4と5の間を開けと言っているのかは分かりかねますが、その着眼は良いと思います。
なら、第3の番の残されし者は誉れ高き我が名を称えよってのは何だと？
文字遊びである可能性が高い以上、それもまた言葉遊びの可能性があります。残された文字は誉れ高き我が名を称えよ。
難しいね。どういう意味だろ
う。どなたかわかる方は？私は多分分かっちゃいました。
何？教えなさいよ。
これもアナグラムか。
It's a little bit paradoxical to have Eva, who in a previous fragment had figured this out, now be desperate and asking the little outsider child for intel on the deciphering of the epitaph.
またしてもグッド。バトラさんはなかなか発想が柔軟です。
I thought he was incompetent.
アナグラムって文字遊びって意味だよね。
By your standards.
ということは、
つまり残った文字を入れ替えると何かの単語ができるという意味じゃないかしら。
だな。とすると、ちょいと勇み足な仮説だが、俺は第一の番に間引く大元の文字数は11文字じゃないかと想定する。
またしてもお見事。私も同じ見解でした。
どうしてよ。どうして11文字なんて言えるんや。
生贄を一人殺すというのは文字を一文字潰すことを意味すると思われます。第2の番の引き裂けをとりあえず2文字の間を開けという意味で解釈した場合なら11文字。この引き裂けが2文字を潰せという意味なら13文字になると想定されます。なぜなら、その後の第4の番から第8の番にかけて5回殺せという記述が出るからです。そして、その次の第9の番で誰も生き残れないと書かれています。
魔女が蘇るって部分をとりあえず無視するなら、これは第1の番に6文字潰し、寄り添った文字を割いて、さらに5文字潰したら、ぴったり文字がなくなるという意味ではないかと考えたんだ。
So that makes 6 plus 5, 11 characters. If tearing apart the two who are close on the second twilight means to kill both of them, that makes 6 plus 2 plus 5, 13 characters. There's a chance that the word symbolizing the first twilight has 11 or 13 characters.
実にお見事です。私とまさに同じ推理。バトラさんもどうやら私と同じ灰色の脳細胞に恵まれているようですね。
よせやい。適当だぜ、適当。おいおい、なんだよこれ。駒の俺は随分と頭が切れるじゃねえか。おかげで俺の推理する出番がねえぜ。
ああ、ごめんなさい。バトラはこの時不在だったから、私の方で勝手に駒を操らせてもらったわ。
Burn couldn't help but just be intelligent and like let it flood all over the place. Sure.
切れ者っぽくていいでしょ。あん
たはベルにプレイヤーをしてもらった方が賢そうに見えるわ。プレイヤーは降りて駒に専念した方がよくない？
I joined in on this game on October 5th after the first few murders, so up until that point the piece called me was being controlled by Burncastle the player, which makes it possible for Burncastle to present her reasoning through my mouth. The game I'm watching now is nothing more than a replay of a part that's already ended. Battler is great just the way he is. However, that's probably good enough for now. This Burncastle-sama has gone out of her way to solve the epitaph for me, so I'll watch closely for now. And I'll try to find out what it means. Lambda Delta let it slip herself just a second ago.
そりゃそうでしょ。それを教えてあげちゃったらヒントが過ぎちゃうわ。難易度の高い謎でなきゃ意味がないんだから。あらいけない。これもヒントになっちゃうわね。
This theory about grandfather creating the epitaph in order to choose a successor isn't bad at all. Erika and Burncastle's logic is extremely reasonable. But that's only if we assume grandfather was the one to create it. He was probably alive at the time the epitaph was displayed, but of course he's already dead by 1986. And in the games up until now, Beatrice threatened us repeatedly with letters, saying that the only way to survive was to solve the epitaph and trying to force us to solve the riddle. In other words, it was Beatrice's intention, her hope, that we would try solving the riddle of the epitaph. The epitaph is so confusing that, in most cases, the relatives never seriously tried solving it until the threatening letters started to arrive. That's why Beatrice fired the starting pistol, which made us take a go at it. Why is Beatrice carrying out grandfather's last wishes? Like the theory proposed in the first game, is she really grandfather's confidant? Following his orders even after his death and trying to select a successor with the riddle of the epitaph in his stead? That would mean that Beatrice really is grandfather's trusted underling, and exactly the family alchemist she called herself in that letter. After grandfather's death, Beatrice would have managed the 10 tons of gold and taken the title of alchemist. Without ever embezzling the gold, she entrusted it all to the epitaph's riddle and waited for a human fitting to be the successor to appear and solve it. And if that human didn't appear within a set time limit, that meant game over? Certainly when Auntie Eva solved the riddle in the third game, she became the only survivor and automatically the final head of the Ushiromiya family, inheriting everything. Up to this moment, no one has ever survived past October 5th except Auntie Eva, the one who solved the epitaph. That was the only case where Beatrice let anyone survive. Is Beatrice's loyalty to grandfather the thing that drives her? Did grandfather give her some terrible order to kill everyone if the epitaph isn't solved? And she's so loyal that she faithfully carries that out? I must not stop thinking. Don't stop thinking. Don't just think of the riddle itself, think about why it's significant. Why is Beatrice telling us to solve the epitaph? Why did she create such a confusing epitaph for us? If Beatrice makes us try and solve this epitaph that we have no real chance of solving, and by some lucky chance a miracle occurs and someone is able to solve it, what significance does that have to her? I don't know, but this miracle would be worth the battle.
いずれにせよ、第一の番がわからねえ限り、これ以上はお手上げだな。
I don't know if I should keep going. Maybe it's a good stopping point for tonight. I don't want to get too deep into things and then having to cut it. What do you say? Let's stop? Okay. Yeah, because I've been having this feeling that this is heading into something that's gonna be quite a lot to take in, so yeah, okay, good. Alright. Sorry if I'm stepping right before some sort of revelation. I'm not necessarily expecting that happens though. Build the tents, we are stopping. Eventful stream, I guess. You guys have been having a ball in chat. I'm just here trying to take it all in. Erika is quite a handful, I guess. Oh, thank you for the BT. That's so sweet. Here. Finally, Erika has entered the stage properly. I guess so. She's made herself known. Alright. I'm a Burn faithful, but Erika is just is almost just as good. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Good stream. Yeah. Somehow I heard that in her voice in my head. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of stringing together a few things that were already mentioned, particularly when Eva was solving it. But like, I understand all of the hints, what they're like, what direction they're supposed to push you into. I still have no idea what it means, but that's okay. I'll let them figure it out. Oh, Beatrice, I will forever hear that in Kinzo's voice in my head. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I have anything else to say about this. I'm just hanging in there and seeing where they take it. Just, I guess, curious and looking forward to it. No, yeah, thank you. I need it. I've been yawning quite a lot. Quite sleepy tonight. Apologies for that. See you again. Yeah. I heard that in Battler's voice in my head. I have these characters' voices living in my head now. Particularly Battler's. I really just from the sigh on the other end of the phone, I was like, oh, that's Daisuke Ono. That's him. That's how Battler sighs before, like, or like when something is annoying him. I was just like, should I say it? Should I not? But then, yeah, it was totally him. I think I will forever recognize his voice from now on everywhere. Yeah. Natsuki has a secret from 19 years ago. Battler has a sin that he committed or was involved in from 6 years ago. Everyone has something to hide, which, yeah, true. It's probably fair to say about absolutely every character. Great. Fantastic. And the plot thickens with parental connections. Okay. Yeah. Okie dokes. And it all comes back to Delsnil. Oh man, and but my heart sank a little bit. And oh, she had planned something with Maria that day. Instead, she had to cancel so she could go scheme with her brother and sister. Oh God, no, please! I don't. I my mind can't take that. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. It's I think that the wall that I'm hitting is that it's like also soap opera-ish kind of a plot of like, you're not your parents' son, you're this other person's son, or this is the mother that you thought had deceased but she's been alive all along, or or this is the child that you gave up when it was just a baby, and then it was replaced by someone else, but now this is the actual child, and now you have them both in your life. And it's just, yeah, telenovela plots in my mind whenever I think that's where I kind of my brain kind of just no, that's a little bit too ridiculous for that to be it. Yeah. Anyways, we will see where this goes. We will see where the family connections go. I guess, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, don't have much else to share. I'm tired and my mind is broken by a bunch of things. So for now, I will also say goodnight. Thank you so much for joining me on this. Natsuhi made the moon tourism plans 19 years ago. It's a great shape. Somehow I wish it was that, but I have the feeling that it's gonna be something that hits much harder than that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, pretty much. Not much else going on that's worth sharing in my brain. I'm just trying to adapt to all of the things that are being thrown at us, and I guess I will continue to do so next time. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Have a nice weekend filled with all of the stuff that you like and that make you happy. And I will see you just as per usual on Tuesday. Same schedule. Love you all. Thanks again, and night-night. Or a good end to your day, wherever you are in the world, if it's not night. Just yet. Bye.